Let's talk about how to use 6 hats to explore financial options to supersize and grow your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and we are on step 2 of the SOAP framework, which is options. We want to come up with possibilities, and remember, there's always infinite possible ways of solving or settling or doing anything. In this case, we want to actually eliminate, minimize, or get rid of entirely, which is the same as eliminate, a financial struggle or a financial area that we're struggling with. So today, usually I use the 6 hats tool for action, to take action and help you make decisions. But I'm going to use it today because I want us to look at our situation from different perspectives, different points of view, and then come up with our brainstorm list of different possible options. Because when we look at the situation from a different point of view, we see things that we wouldn't otherwise see. I was sharing in the Be a Better You annual challenge that I tend to look at situations through the green hat. The green hat is all about ideas and creativity, which is where my personal brain just goes. That doesn't fit every situation. Some situations, especially financial ones, which are really pretty concrete. This is happening. This is what we need to do. We're spending too much money. We need to look at our expenses and revamp and reprioritize, right? That's pretty straightforward. It doesn't require a lot of creativity. It requires that we look at it. So I'm going to talk about what the hats are, and then I'll give you a specific example of one of my clients who used this exercise to help her with her financial situation. Her name's Lena. So what are the hats? First, there's the white hat. The white hat is all about what's really going on. What are the facts? It's about the objective data and the concrete facts and information in the situation. The red hat is all about the emotions and the feelings around the situation. The black hat is all about what are the risks. It's about assessing risks and critical judgment with respect to the situation. In this case, our financial challenge or struggle. Yellow hat is all about optimism and benefits. So what's the upside of us making a change? And what are the benefits of us making a change? So black hat's about, well, what are the risks if we don't change? Yellow hat's what about what can happen, what's possible if we do change? Green hat, again, is about creative ideas and new ideas. And that's, again, my personal favorite. But you can't default to any one hat all the time. That's the power of this tool. And then finally, blue hat is all about kind of the next step. It's all about, well, process control and about consistency and what's the plan? What are we going to do now that we've looked at the situation from all these perspectives? And I say today what we're going to do is we're going to brainstorm a list of possible ways to start filling the gap between where we are and where we want to be with respect to this financial challenge. So let's take a look at Lena's story, and I'm going to read it because otherwise I'll mess it up because I don't remember all the facts about everybody that I deal with every day. So Lena is a young entrepreneur, and she's ready to scale her freelance business into a thriving creative agency, but she lacks operational structure and consistent cash flow. So what are the facts? White hat, what are the facts? Monthly income fluctuates between $3,000 and $7,000 a month. She has no business savings or systems in place. That's my first red light whenever I'm dealing with anybody, including myself. She works 60 plus hours a week, and she gets tired sometimes. And she's got no recurring contracts, which if we just look at the facts, we already know some brainstorm options and things that we can do to help her out. Red hat is what are her emotions about all of this? Well, she's proud of her creative output. She's tired and overwhelmed, and she's excited about her business potential. So we want to tap into those positive feelings and emotions, and we want to minimize the negative ones, right? Or the ones that make her feel heavy or bad. Black hat, what are the risks? Well, burnout from inconsistent income, poor client retention, and then no exit or growth strategy. She wants both, right? You want to have a growth strategy, but at some point in your lifetime, you want to move on and do different things. So you want to always be thinking about your exit strategy. As soon as you build your business, you should be thinking about the possible ways to exit. I learned this in the real estate industry. You always know how you're going to exit the property before you ever even make an offer on the property. Yellow hat, what are the benefits of scaling? Well, financial stability and growth for number 1. Delegation and improved work-life balance, very important to her personally. And then becoming a leader and a mentor in her industry. Green hat, what are some creative options that she has in order to deal with this? She can convert project work into monthly retainer packages, which is like the number one thing and the first thing I had her do. She can hire a part-time virtual assistant and project manager to help take off some of the workload from her. She can create digital products or templates for passive income. She could collaborate with other creatives for joint ventures. And actually, we did all these things. Blue hat, what's the plan? Identify 3 clients to pitch retainers to within 30 days. Hire an assistant for 10 hours per week starting next month. Launch 1 digital product within the next 90 days. And track KPIs, key performance indicators, weekly, and review business goals monthly. Pretty straightforward. But by looking at her financial struggle, which is really inconsistent income and revenue, that's her number one financial challenge, and no systems, right? It's easier to document your systems as you're creating them along the way as you're building and growing and supersizing your business than it is to get to a certain point of growth in your business, realize you've got no systems and no documented way of doing anything, and then having to create it all from scratch. That's just my personal experience. Done it both ways. Then they're done that both ways. In corporate America, I had to create entire documentation for entire organizations and huge projects involving thousands of people, and it was the hard way, believe me. But if you're writing down, hey, this is what I do and how I do it all the time, and if everybody's doing that, all of a sudden you have your processes documented without it being this gigantuous, monumental project that takes thousands and thousands and thousands or tens of thousands of hours. All right, so what are we doing today? We're going to look at all these different hats. I like to have a different colored hat and put it on it and actually do it, because to me, physically changing the color of the hat I have on, and I should have brought my hats. I didn't grab them out of, I have a little box of colored hats because I think this is a really fun thing and I use it for trainings. But I like to do that because it allows me to take, a couple of minutes in each area of focus, and then that opens up my mind to the possibilities of the options to fill the gap between where we are and, well, where I am and where I want to be with respect to my financial situation, struggle, challenge, whatever you want to call it. I like to call things challenges because then I know that I can overcome it and I'll figure them out. If I call them struggles, guess what? Then I'm struggling and I'm feeling, kind of heavy, and I'm like, oh, this is so hard. But it's usually not that hard once we open up our mind to the possibility and we just take one action, boom, we're moving forward. And once we start moving, we get that momentum. And before we know it, that situation or challenge isn't a challenge anymore. It actually can become an area of strength and competitive advantage for us. All right, any questions about this and the hats? Hit me up. Otherwise, have an awesome day. Play with this and have fun. And I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.